Could the hammer be about to drop? We'll dive into all of it and more coming up on Michigan Wolverines Live.
You guys should check out the Michigan Wolverine Live. They're out here doing great things, doing great podcasts, great live shows. They're really just doing their thing, help them blow up.
And welcome into another episode of Michigan Wolverines Live. Today is Tuesday, July 30th. I can't even believe that. It's already end of July, and we are on to fall camp, and football is here. So my name is John Diadamo. I'm going to be your host here. You can follow me on Twix at John Diadamo. And a quick reminder for our 159th episode, please go ahead and like this video. It just takes a second to hit the like button and share this link out with at least one friend. If you do that, then we're going to keep blowing this thing up. We're on a rocket ship here, and we're just going to keep rolling. And last thing, and then we're going to bring in our panel as we do. Please go ahead and consider sending us a super chat. Make sure that your comment or question is read on screen. And I'm going to ask everybody to do that. And the more that you do that, then the longer the show will go, because we'll keep reading them. And then I know some of you like the longer shows, so that's how to do it. Get your super chats in, get a comment or question in. And then here to roll out the latest edition of the Kenneth Grant Tracker, we've got, first off, my co-host on this show and the host of Thursday Michigan Wolverines Call-In Show Live, TJ. Welcome back.
What is up, Wolverine Nation? Fall camp kicked off today. It's officially football season, and man, we got a lot to talk about. Great show, and looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, we were like ripping through before the show. It was like, holy shit, this is a lot of content, but we're delivering it to everybody in the community here.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. We have a jam. We're hitting everything. We got recruiting, we got notice of allegations, we got locker room, we got position previews, we got it all for you.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah.
And John, shout out to Moose, man. Moose is back in the chat.
Oh,
I see Moose.
We got Moose
on Thursday. Thanks for joining us.
We got Moose here.
Yeah, we missed the boy. Shout out Moose.
Yes, and people are doing the Moose emoji. We appreciate that. Really glad to see that you're up and at 'em and rocking through all the stuff you're going through. So thanks for being on, Moose. And of course, rounding out our panel as always, the host of Smash the Numbers here at the Michigan Football, the voice of college football. We've got Ferris Khan in the house. Go Blue, Ferris.
Go Blue. I am so excited about this show. I am totally thinking this is going to be our best show ever. We have so much content. It is football season now. I'm tired of the off season. It is time to start playing the game that we love, college football. In real life, not just in the video game version. And I believe that Alex Orji can, in fact, complete a forward pass.
There it is. We will cover that and more here today. So thanks. Oh, we got Alex back. Okay.
Shout out to Alex Martin for being a realist and a reasonable Buckeye. We appreciate you. I just want to give this a shout out. Don't tell anyone, Doreen. Shout out to Doreen, by the way. She's a friend of the program, and really appreciate her as well. I do mostly Team Up North. That's the Champions Up North, Martin. Podcast, because I find our fans are delusional. We agree. I went to OSU. We all make bad choices. I bleed scarlet and gray, but I think many don't and are homers, and they're not realistic at all. We agree with you, Martin, and we appreciate you viewing in. And shout out to you, man. And then let's give a shout out to Cliff. What are you doing, bud? 5 gifted memberships, my man.
Woo! We are coming in hot here. Cliff Richardson, host of Point a Minute with Mac on Michigan Football, voice of college football, gifting 5 memberships, and that includes Philip Buford, who's actually one of our reasonable Buckeyes. We've got Blue Wolverine was gifted a membership. So some of these people I think just need to re-up, but that's cool. That's cool. Blue Wolverine, we got P Maximus. We got Hilo Key and Nathan Penny. So, Cliff is our Oprah today.
Hey, we'll take that. Hey, and shout out to Cliff and Mac. They did a segment today on the notice of allegations. They did a great job with it. If anyone hasn't seen it, check that out after the show, of course, because we're going to hit on it and give our take on it as well.
And of course, before we do this, we've got another 5 here. We got
it, boys. Thank you.
You got a membership. You got a membership. Moose is dealing with some stuff, and not only did he show up today, but he decided to give another 5 to Maze Rage, Go Blue 81, The Lost and Unfounds, Amazing Blue, and Nevada Buck and Kirk Barton. All now are Those Who Stay Will Be Champions members, thanks to Moose. So that's 10 gifted memberships for the Those Who Stay Will Be Champions tier.
Shout out to all you guys. Welcome to the family. And we have a hangout tomorrow. Right, John? So tomorrow there'll be a members-only VIP hangout for Those Who Stay and Up membership tiers. So be on the lookout for that. It's at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Looking forward to meeting with everybody and chatting it up.
Likewise. So more to come. But we do want to remind everybody about our kind of contest right now with the Ohio State channel here at Voice of College Football. And if you notice, Kenneth Grant is coming closer and closer to Ryan Day. We're down to 680 subscribers between the Michigan channel and the Ohio State channel. Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to help us get a little bit closer.
It is just like The Price is Right with that little prospector guy who goes up and when you get the right price or whatever, it keeps going up. We are going to do the same thing. Maybe we can use our artistic budget to do some sort of tackle of Ryan Day. We'll see if we can get there. Our goal is to get there by the Texas game. So Game 2, we want to catch Ohio State. Now remember, all of our channels are gathering new members and things like that. So Ohio State isn't fixed. Ryan Day is moving. He may not look like he's moving that fast right now, but he is moving. So we got to catch up to them, and we are 680 behind. We can do it. I remember back in the day, we were 1,000 behind. I think that was just, not that many days away.
1,500.
Oh, I remember we were more than that. It's because of everybody on this chat, and the mods for promoting it, and for everybody spreading the word. That's why we're closing the gap.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So shout out to all you guys. Anyone who's unsubscribed, please give us a subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. We're trying to hit our goal, and it means a lot to us.
All right. With that said, I do just want to ask everybody in chat to be respectful. To both talent on air as well as the chat. And if not, especially if there's a really far over the line, you might just get knocked out. So we're going to try to give warnings. But please, nothing that's insulting to anybody. All right. So with that said, we have a pretty major topic here today, guys. Chris Ballas and others who kind of reflected some of the points has reported that in the next couple of days, possibly there will be a notice of allegations from the NCAA for Michigan for the Connor Stallions' involvement in an arrangement for off-campus in-person scouting, which is reported to potentially be a level 1 violation. And then they're also deciding that might not be impactful enough. So let's throw some other shit in there too. So they're also throwing in some restaurant purchases, maybe some other recruiting things for like level 2 violations, because that one level 1 just isn't enough of a dig at Michigan. So let's continue to do that. I do want to ask everybody, and then I'll let TJ and Ferris go. I do want to remind everybody of this. A notice of allegations does not equal punishment. All that's going to be coming out reportedly in the next few days is the allegations themselves. And then that's going to launch us years of of speculation about what the punishment will be, because most likely this thing it may be headed to court if it's anything above a fine. So this isn't going to be resolved for a long time, but it does look like there's movement soon. TJ, what's your take on what we've heard this week?
Yeah, so absolutely correct what you just said. We are looking at something that is going to be a years-long process. I mean, I've read that there's a belief that it won't even be truly in motion until mid-2025. And what I mean by in motion, I mean the court stuff might just begin if it goes that path. So yeah, and also I want to also bring clarity that there are separate incidents. So the restaurant buying a recruit and his father a meal is a separate, which are the level 2 violations. Those are separate from the the whole Connor Stallion situation. So those are two different deals. And then with what is being rumored or proposed by Chris Ballas, he speculated possibly a 1 to 2 year postseason ban. Now that was speculated. That doesn't mean that's going to happen. That's something that is that could potentially be. But here's what we do know. Anything beyond a fine. So if there is a postseason ban, Michigan is not going to accept that. Period. That's the word out of Ann Arbor. It's not happening. They're not accepting it, and they will go to battle for it. And also it is believed widely in Michigan circles that it's not coming to that. That's the belief out of Ann Arbor. Now there is obviously the what is being proposed by Chris Ballas as a potential possibility. He's not saying that that's even going to be even. Chris Ballas was not even saying that that was going to be the case, that a postseason ban was going to happen. He was speculating it's a possibility. So let's get that clear. And then the second thing I want to hit on before I pass it to Ferris, to the Ohio State fans, and not to some of our very reasonable, rational Buckeyes in the chat who we actually appreciate. Shout out to you guys. And to be honest, some of you guys, I have very good conversations with you on the socials. And so, it's all love here. But to the rest of you guys are these rivals want the NCAA to save their ass right now because they can't do it on the field. And a lot of them are falling for the Santa Claus fairy tale bullshit. And I think it's just a bad look. It's a bad look because not only is the national perspective seeing you guys drooling, trying to hope the NCAA takes a bite out of our ass, which they're not. You guys just look sad because you guys can't accomplish what you want the NCAA to do on the field. So it's up to you guys to step up and handle your business on the field. Quit waiting for the NCAA to freaking handle your business because at the end of the day, Michigan's going to play this year. Michigan's going to play in bowl games. And very key, we're not vacating any wins. So enjoy that natty. You know what I'm saying? Like that natty's ours. Those Big Ten championships are ours. Enjoy that shit. Ferris, it's up to you. Go get it.
Yeah. I had a ton of notes, but you covered a lot of it. But I'm going to jump into a couple things. One is it's amazing to me. It's been over 1,700 days since Ohio State beat Michigan at the game of college football. I think it's 1,704, if I recall correctly. It is amazing to me that there is always an excuse. We were one play away. We were 5 plays away. If it wasn't for those 5 plays, we would have beaten Michigan when Michigan won 45-23. There is Honda McCord instead of Honda Accord. Honda McCord is the reason why Ohio State lost, but that was only 45% of the reason. 65% or 55% of the reason was Connor Stallion. So I didn't think this was going to happen after 1,700 plus days. I mean, I'm not naive to think that OSU coaches are the same as OSU fans, but I hope they are. Maybe I'm naive, but I hope they are, and I hope they do overlook Michigan this year because I think that would just be amazing. That despite being beaten in, give me the scores. It was 42-27. Is that correct? And then it was 45-23, right? And then it was a closer game this last game, but it was Michigan had a 7-minute drive to basically end the game. Yes, Ohio State Honda McCord actually had a great pass to get them within striking distance, but it was still, that required 2 amazing passes in a row to even get into the end zone. I just find it amazing that Ohio State fans and I hope the team are overlooking Michigan again. I hope it happens. I hope they blame Honda McCord, and I hope they blame Connor Stallions for it, because Ryan, walking excuse day. I hope that's what he's saying to his team. I'm not expecting it, but that's what I'm hoping for. The second point I have is going to battle. So I know a lot of people are going to say that in the fall, Michigan talked a big game. They said they were going to go to battle. They said they were going to fight everything. They had lawyers. Everything was going to happen, and Harbaugh was going to be in there, and he's going to be coaching the games. And then they backed away. Well, this is my own speculation, but I do believe that Harbaugh, in his own heart of hearts, felt like, I want to battle this to the end. I am innocent. I want to battle this. I believe he got overruled by Michigan's administration. I think that's actually what happened. And the reason why they decided on this is because the Big Ten said, okay, we'll back off, just suspend Harbaugh for 3 games. We'll back off. All the games will count this year. You can keep playing games this year. We're not going to do anything with the Big Ten title game. Let's just give him these 3 games, and then we'll stop bugging you. So it's sort of like, once in a rare while, I'll get a traffic ticket, let's say, right? So, and the traffic ticket is something, but they make you agree to something else that's a lesser charge. You don't get points, and it's kind of like a win-win. Now, I could fight it. Maybe I think I'm right. Maybe I did, I thought I made a right turn on red, and they said I didn't the right way, whatever. But, or do I just pay the $100 and just move on? I think that was the Michigan administration's attitude. Jim Harbaugh wanted to get 10 lawyers and fight that, $100 traffic ticket to avoid the points, whatever, and get everything taken off his record.
Hey,
right?
He does like Judge Judy. So that's very possible that he would take a $100 ticket to go.
Okay. All right. So anyway, I just want to kind of point that out for, kind of preemptively, because people are going to say Michigan's not going to fight. I think in this case, they will fight it, because it isn't a situation where they're 9-0 and they have a chance to go 12-0. And, they're right in the middle, it's literally in the middle of the off week, the weeks in between the games that they're doing this battle. This is going to last weeks and months and years, perhaps. So I believe that Michigan now will fight this. It's a different situation.
Go
ahead.
They'll fight it if it's an excessive punishment. But we don't. So that's the thing, right? So when this notice of allegations comes out, we don't. So as it stands now, we have no idea what's going to be in this notice of allegations. And then whatever the NCAA provides to Michigan has 90 days to counter. That's what's going to. So even when this comes out, and these Ohio State fans, let's say there is a postseason ban, which I don't think there will be. Ohio State fans are going to think they just won the Super Bowl. But little do they know, because their IQ's actually, I got to check myself. I actually like a couple.
There's some nice Ohio fans.
I know. There's a couple of you are making that
okay. I'm just stating, I'm just basically stating the fact that, and I should have articulated it this way. Yes, if the hammer is bigger than the hammer emoji, which, if it's just this small, okay, we'll take it. Fine. Let's move on. If it is actually a postseason ban, something to that effect, I believe that Michigan will fight it.
No, they will. There's no belief about it. They will.
Okay.
If it's a postseason ban, it's not happening. They're not letting that.
All right. So I did have one third point, and that third point has to do with the definition of the term advanced scout. Okay. So I believe that the NCAA used that term, associated it with the 1994 rule. There was a rule from 1994 that you couldn't, video games for in person for advanced scouting, but they never defined what an advanced scout is. So if a rando college student at another campus gets $100 from Connor Stallions and is paid to record a game, and maybe he's given the tickets free or something, is that an advanced scout? Okay, maybe you can argue that person is an advanced scout, but then are 3 teams colluding against a 4th team, allegedly Ohio State and 2 other teams colluding
Rutgers and
against
Illinois.
Michigan, and they're sharing
Right.
signs, they're sharing even
Well,
their own expertise, tendencies, things like that. They have a group chat, they have a group email. Are they advanced scouting for each other? I would argue as a lawyer, I would say maybe they are, right? So go ahead.
So with people who may not really, because a lot of people don't follow this day to day, and what people don't really understand, when you look at it in a vacuum, what Michigan did with the signal thing, it sounds like a lot, right? But when you look at it from the whole picture, every single major college football franchise has a sign guy. Every single one has somebody whose job it is to decode the signals, and then they have all of the plays that have already been put on the field in the All-22 film, is what it's called, the All-22 film, which gives the full look at the field and everything. Teams have each other's plays blocked out. It's not like Michigan knew everybody's plays, and then everybody else was like, "Oh my God, what's Michigan running?" No. Like 95% of the plays that get called, there's a signal guy to decode the signal, and so it's not like when you look at it in a vacuum, it's like Michigan's doing all this shit, but in reality, there's some degree of signal decoding going on. At most major programs. I think that's a point I wanted to make.
But see, here's the thing though. We are past that. That discussion was December. Where we are now is they don't have shit. They don't have anything on Central Michigan. And I have a little info on Central Michigan that I'm not going to say until after notice of allegation or until this thing gets a little more settled, and I'll bring it to the public on what I know. And but they don't have shit on that. They don't have Connor Stallions isn't talking. Nobody involved has said a damn thing. The NCAA has nothing, which is why there's a lot of people in the Ann Arbor circles who feel like there's not going to be much to this notice of allegations. And if there is an overstep by the NCAA in Michigan's eyes, they'll fight that. That's just the reality of it. So the expectation out of Michigan is a fine and potentially some recruiting limitations. And what I mean by that is potentially maybe losing a visiting weekend or some scholarships. But I'm sure we all saw the NCAA is going to expand the scholarship limit to 105, which is interesting. We should talk about it on another show. But so like that's where we are with it. And everyone and when I mean everyone, I mean a lot of the rival fan base is hoping and wishing for something serious. Hey man, I know you like Santa Claus, but I hate to break it to you, he's not real.
But we do believe in Santa Ono, who is currently, I think, in the power rankings above Claus in the power rankings. But real quick, 2 super chats I want to hit on, and we can keep rolling on this topic. But Drufus with a go blue right back at you, Drufus. We appreciate you. And Blue Wolverine, man, this guy he goes hard in the paint. He doesn't just go on the Michigan shows, folks. He goes on the Buckeye shows. He is supporting everybody, and he gets that enemy intel, on a regular basis, and he's supporting our show, not just being a YouTube member, but also a $4.99 super chat saying, "What a year." Yeah, you could say that again, Blue.
Yeah, and to Juju's son, I was just kidding. Santa's very real. He'll be at your house in December. Make sure you have some cookies for him and all that good stuff.
Yes,
I was worried about our younger listeners. If that would be an issue. So
very real.
Yeah, very real.
I remember when I was a kid, we did not have a fireplace, and I was very worried about how Santa would get to our apartment. So.
Yeah. Hey. No, I'll hit it later.
So yeah, I mean, just there, like I said, I it's hard to really kind of look at everything until we get the official letter. And by the way, when we get the official notice of allegations, we're going to be doing an emergency broadcast, and we have cooked up a little something special for when we air that emergency broadcast in the graphics department. So look out for that when that rolls out.
Yeah. If you enjoy those off-season trophies, wait till you see the next one. That's all I'll say on that one.
Yeah, I'm reaching out to the graphic designer community. You know, Comic-Con happened here in near San Diego here, near me in San Diego. I'm reaching out to see if I could help even take our graphics to the next level. So look for that in the near future as well.
Well, folks, there will be more coming for sure. It does look like we have one more super chat on this before we move on. We got Tim, another YouTube member in the house, and he says, man, think about it. If Jim Harbaugh and his coaching staff knew about what Stallions was doing, Josh Gaddis would be singing like a bird. I'm with you, Tim, on that. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Or he wasn't exactly a big fan of Michigan and their fans later on.
Freaking Matt Dudek, the snitch himself, the one who got us in trouble with the whole recruiting violation shit. You know, that's the one who turned us in the NCAA on the cheeseburger incident. So, yeah, I mean, listen, and not only that, there's another snitch too, which I won't get into because I'm sure people are aware of what I'm talking about. That one was an analyst or something like that, or equipment assistant or something where maybe he was doing some things he shouldn't have been doing. But yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, yeah, I see that, John. We'll hit it next. You know, the truth is there's nothing that can tie Stallions to the coaching staff as a whole. So it is what it is. And in the NCAA, and I'm going to tell you right now, NCAA doesn't have shit on that. They don't. And well, I'll tell you this, it's largely believed that to be the case. I mean, do they pull a rabbit out of their hat? We'll see. If they do, then we're talking something different. But from everything I know and understand, they don't have anything on how this went down.
Well, we have a pretty substantial contribution here that we want to point out. Blue, YouTube member for us, has just dropped a 50 burger. Can I hear the panel? Well, I could do this. Can I hear the panel give the loudest on the count of three, the loudest go blue they can? 3, 2, 1, go blue!
Hopefully the volume was down for our listeners, but hell yeah, man, go blue all day.
I hope that was sufficient, Blue, but we really do appreciate that contribution a lot. And thanks for joining the community and for being part of this the last couple of months. You've been active and joining us and just everybody who does. I don't care where you came from. I don't care if you were on a Buckeye podcast. I don't care if you're on a Michigan podcast. I don't care where you found us. The fact is you're here now, and we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
That's just amazing. That $50. That's just amazing. Really appreciate that. And I love interacting with Blue Wolverine wherever I find Blue Wolverine, all over the place. So.
All right, y'all. So with that said, we also do want to encourage everybody, given the fact that tomorrow is going to be our YouTube member hangout at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you can, at just $2.99, you can get, we just added 2 new emojis. We added a burger emoji and we added the team emoji. So you get access to all of the emojis that you're seeing flying through the chat. At the $2.99 level, as well as a badge. And we do try to highlight comments from every level when we can. Then at $4.99, you get access to our tomorrow night hangout, which will be 8 p.m. Eastern, as well as we try to respond pretty much as quickly as we can if you comment in one of the videos, or if you we really do try to do that. And then we do have the Connor Stallions espionage team at $9.99, where you really can get a say in what we talk about. I'll be putting up a poll soon for all the Connor Stallions members of like, what you want to hear more about and things like that. So definitely check that. And at that level, we can follow each other. We can do DMs and talk and all that good stuff. So each level, you just unlock more stuff. And all these people down here have already joined the membership program, and we're just getting started, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And like I mentioned earlier, we got the membership hangout tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And that's a good place for us to get feedback too. You guys can let us know what you like, what you don't like, things we can work on and stuff like that. So looking forward to that conversation tomorrow.
Yeah. One quick note about the member. I'm going to give you a little homework assignment, members. On Monday, I did a video on bold predictions. Well, I'll talk about it later at the end. But if you have a bold prediction for the season, please jot it down and bring it in, because I want to put it through my engine. I did a little methodology, and I did a video that aired yesterday morning, so you can get more details on that after this show, not right now, after this show.
And shout out to Doreen. We appreciate Doreen in the community, and she's one of the handful of Buckeyes who are making me like them a little bit. But outside of that, I got no love for the rest of them. But yeah, no, she saw some. She went to an event this weekend that was pretty cool with her son. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. Shout out to her and her son. But outside of that, the rest of you guys can kick rocks, dude.
And with that said, we have a YouTube member question, and then we also just got a new one. So the generosity is rolling tonight. So Les, who's one of our YouTube members, asked, did the NCAA push the notice of allegations up because of the Connor Stallions Netflix special that's coming?
Interesting question. I don't know. I can't say for certain. But it is an interesting timing, huh? It was just announced. Well, here's the thing too, though. So there is some that feel that this notice of allegation isn't coming as quickly as others are reporting. But we do have a consistent theme from more than one source that this is coming soon. But when is soon? Because it's going week by week now. And I don't know. It is interesting timing, to say the least.
Yeah. Just the timing of the Netflix special is kind of interesting, because it's, what are they going to be able to, I guess they're going to be able to tell the story of Connor Stallions, but I don't know if they're going to be able to break any new ground in terms of, facts, evidence, that sort of thing. So, but we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have a watch party when it comes out.
Don't tell Netflix. Can't share accounts first.
Yeah, keep that on the DL. So Troy's back as a YouTube member. Thank you, Troy, for re-upping there. So thank you, and then also Moose with the 5 spot, who was the OG member, the very first member, and so happy he's back. $5 here. Fisher Price hammer coming soon. And more where that came from. I can't wait to show the graphic. People are going to love it. All right, let's move on to, we still have a lot to cover. So let's move on to barbecue at the Big House. Folks, if you haven't seen this barbecue yet, you need to see this. So this is from Abigail O'Connor, who's the nutritionist. And look at the food here. Oh my God! Even the carrots have scorch marks. Oh.
Yeah. Let me make a quick point on the carrots, because once in a while I like to find and go to Michelin star restaurants. That looks like a Michelin star restaurant carrot. It's got it's not just put on the grill. It looks like it might have a little glaze to it. That is high level restaurant stuff right there.
Yeah, that looks damn good. That is worlds different from last year's barbecue. And if anyone saw the barbecue awards this year, I think Michigan came out on top. The losers this year was Oregon. If anyone saw those photos, we should have had those, John. But Oregon's
Yeah.
photos were pretty funny this year. But yeah, no, Michigan hit this out the park, man. We're gonna have more on this as we get into the recruiting segment, but they did a great job.
Yeah, so just a kind of high level, in addition to the food, were there kind of some other pieces that were kind of improved on with Aaron Dunston coming into the picture, and you hear about anything else?
Yeah, well, for one, it was a 3-day event. Okay, so this used to be a 1-day event, so they've expanded it. Not only that, because the recruiting department has expanded, which we've talked about all summer. Nobody was left entertained, right? Everybody, like in the past, there were some. Well, for one, they would keep the visitor list a little smaller, and two, there would be some recruits who felt like they didn't get enough attention. By all accounts, nobody felt that way. The food was amazing. The event was great. Some kids were there all 3 days. They just knocked it out of the park. I mean, the one unfortunate thing, which we're going to hit on later in the show, is the new locker rooms were not finished yet. So the recruits were not able to tour the new locker rooms, but because those became public, I think yesterday, Monday. So, outside of that, I mean, they did everything right. And it's again, when we've talked about this since the second week of official visits, Michigan's recruiting weekends are just on that next level. They're truly at an elite level right now in terms of just their entire presentation to these recruits, and they're just doing great, man. It's so good to see from where we were. Like, they've really picked it up. And shout out to Sharon Moore, because Sharon Moore and Sean McGee and everybody involved. Aaron Dunston. I mean, just crushing it right now.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about I'd like to get your kind of opinion on this, on what it means to have heart to kind of recruiting that next class, and what that means to Michigan, to having Brady Hart there recruiting that next class. It didn't seem like anybody was kind of lonely and just like, okay, then nobody's paying attention to me kind of thing, especially with that the 2026 class, right? So
yeah, which we'll hit on that a little bit more, but to give a little summary, I mean, like, Brady Hart was a major factor at this event, and his entire reason for being there was to recruit for Michigan. He's not being recruited; he's already in, he's locked in. He wants to build a major class for 2026, but he wasn't just working on 2026. He also was working on 2025s. He was throwing with Andrew Marsh. So him and Andrew Marsh got to throw the ball around. They got to work out, stuff like that. And to anyone who missed our Andrew Marsh interview, we did an interview with Andrew Marsh last week. Go check that out. We uploaded it last Wednesday. He's legit. We're going to get more into Andrew Marsh as we go into the recruiting segment. But no, I mean, look, having Brady Hart in the fold, having him come up for these events on his dime, not only is Brady Hart doing a great job recruiting all the recruits, his parents are building connections and relationships with these recruits' parents. One recruit that they really built with was Jennings, who committed Michigan, which we'll hit on next. But they also Savion Hitter, who's RB1, which we're also going to hit on in the next segment. But I mean, they just did a great job. It's a big deal to have a cornerstone player like that in the fold. One unfortunate thing out of the barbecue, which it is what it is, but Carter Smith did not make it in. He had practice. He couldn't, he didn't want to miss. So he had to attend to that down in, because, their camps are picking up just like, Michigan's camp picked up or started today. So, that really is the only negative out of the weekend, was Carter Smith couldn't make it. Outside of that, man, the weekend was just a huge success.
That's great, guys. And you mentioned Brody Jennings. Why don't we hit on that? Because that is now our second member of the 2026 class. And how about a 4-star cornerback who went to Florida State camp? He took an unofficial visit to Miami, but he decided after barbecue at the Big House that his home was going to be the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, no, this is such an interesting commitment, because one, it wasn't necessarily on our radar, right? And I think he was just offered a scholarship just a few months ago too. But anyone who wants a more in-depth breakdown on Brody Jennings, I did a recruiting breakdown Sunday night Check that out. That's uploaded on our channel. But what's interesting here is Brody Jennings is the younger brother of Brandon Jennings. And Brandon Jennings was formerly committed to Michigan in 2020, top 100 recruit, a true monster. Literally, his nickname was Godzilla, and it was definitely earned. I mean, when you watched him on the field, he was a monster. So what happened was he flipped on National Signing Day to Maryland because if anyone remembers, 2020 was obviously not the best year for Michigan. And Maryland was when Mike Locksley joined, so he was able to persuade him. Long story short, it didn't work out, and his career hasn't been a linear path for him. It's been had a lot of ups and downs. Anyways, where I'm going at with this is bridges were not burned, and obviously, I think there is a little a little reflection where I feel like Brandon Jennings wishes he never left Michigan, and I think you can see that in Brody Jennings' commitment. And getting a player like Brody Jennings in the class already, 2026. So we now have two committed players, two blue chips, committed to 2026. And as we've talked about all summer, Michigan's intentions is to get a top 5 class for 2026. They are swinging for the fences. This is a nice get. This is a player who is very physical. He is a little raw, but he's also a sophomore. We're talking about a very young player here. So, what you see with this player is a player who can play man. He is physical. As you can see, he is a little touchy. He does need to get more polished, but he will with age. So yeah, good addition to the class and for 2026 and just a great job by Lamar Morgan, who's just crushing it with DB recruiting right now.
Yeah, and it's good to have the dominoes start to fall for 2026. You get a defensive player. You're not going to call him a cornerstone like Brady Hart, but at least the dominoes are falling. There's momentum. This is the idea of getting from a maybe around top 10 class to getting into that top 5 range, for the following year. So yeah, this is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look,
he has that fearless mentality that Michigan coaches like to find players like this.
Absolutely. And he also worked out for Lamar Morgan over the weekend, and apparently Lamar Morgan is just ecstatic about this. He's trying there's word that he's actually trying to close his DBs early. He wants to get I don't know. Lamar Morgan's on, he must be feeling himself after getting Ivan Taylor and Kanoa Winston, because he apparently he's trying to get his DBs already locked up before like the new year. I mean, he's really aggressively recruiting these kids. So, shout out to him, and let's see what he can do with it.
Yeah. And just a note about, I just mentioned recruiting rankings. Just a little note about recruiting rankings. I don't think Michigan tries to get in the top 10 or tries to get in the top 5. I believe that they are looking for the best fit for them. They do tend to try to get smarter players, tougher players. I'm not sure that rankings are the end all be all specifically for Michigan. Do they develop players or do they find diamonds in the rough, and some of these players are ahead of their rankings? I think it's a little bit of both.
I agree, but I do know Michigan does want to recruit at a higher level. They do want to hit another caliber of player, and they're doing that. So they're already starting that. We're already seeing that this summer where we're getting more top 100 guys. We went through a 2-year span, guys, where we got like one top 100 player. We were barely getting anything higher than 150. So look, there's a new approach. It's working. It's very aggressive. We're literally battling with some of the top programs from Alabama to Miami to Auburn to Texas. It's really good to see. I mean, listen, we're not going to win them all. Ohio State's a savage. I mean, I think we saw what their athletic director recently said. They have a $23 million budget. Michigan is half of that budget, by the way, in terms of NIL. And Michigan's a higher end tier 2, low end tier 1 NIL program right now. So, and Oregon, obviously, we see what Phil Knight's doing. But at the end of the day, Michigan is moving in the right direction. And even as good as it is right now, it will continue to improve because Michigan wants to continue to improve. That's what's good about it.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
And Blue Wolverine reminding everybody that if you don't hate kittens and puppies, tap that like button. Very, very true.
And if you do hate kittens and puppies, you're a freaking monster, bro.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
You must know how safety. What the fuck?
Hey, we got some gifted memberships too. Moose with another gifted membership. It looks like who got it? Who is the lucky person? Juice's Ghost, who's been really cool in the chat, and we appreciate trying to take the temperature down. So he's one of the people trying to do that, and I thank you for that.
Is it getting hot in the chat, bro?
It's getting a little heat. It's getting a little too much. We're so we're trying to just be cool with each other.
Give us some stuff to debate. That would be the best, right? Not just whatever. Yeah. Give us some things that have some logic and facts and debatable things. Things like that.
Tom has also gifted a membership to A Schraub. I always fuck up his name, so forgive me. But so you also get those who stay will be champions. So two additional gifted members at the those who stay will be champions tier. Thank you to everybody who's kind of helping with that and gifting people so they can experience it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for building the community. We really appreciate all of you guys gifting memberships. It means a lot to us.
So it wasn't just Brody Jennings. There were some other updates going on for Barbecue at the Big House and otherwise. And the one that I want to ask about directly is Philip Wright. And the reason is because he may be committed to Michigan, but there has been some smoke that LSU is still in this pretty heavily. And we had said that before, that watch out for LSU. But where do you think LSU falls versus Michigan in this recruiting battle?
Yeah, so where LSU falls is behind Michigan right now in this recruiting battle, but it doesn't mean LSU isn't doing their best or their hardest to become number one in this recruitment. So for those who don't know, Philip Wright did visit LSU on Friday for one day, and then he came to Michigan on Saturday and Sunday, and on his own dime, which I think is very important to point out. As we discussed, on our earlier shows or the last few weeks, is LSU is going to be coming for Philip Wright. I mean, Philip Wright is from Louisiana. He's a 10.4 600 meter guy, and LSU, unfortunately for us, missed out on some top targets. So now they're circling back on Philip Wright. So listen, this is going to be a battle. Right now, I like Michigan right now. And the reason why I like Michigan right now is because his mom and his dad came up here to, even after LSU gave their best pitch on Friday. And LSU does not listen. LSU tried to get Philip Wright not to commit, and he's still committed. LSU tried to get him not to come up here this weekend. He still came on his own dime. Okay, I know there's a lot of people out there who think he's as good as gone. I'm not sold that he's as good as gone. I think Michigan. I think he realizes LSU looked at him as a second option, and Michigan looked at him as a primary option. Michigan looked at him at so much as a primary option. Kaz Williams became expendable. Okay, they went after Philip Wright as a number one option. So I think Michigan just needs to continue to be aggressive with him. NIL is going to matter. The good news is Michigan is playing ball. But another thing that just became a factor in this recruitment is LSU just offered him for track. Michigan has not done that yet. So that's a new development in this recruitment. Michigan is going to need to counter and also involve their track team. And if anyone's really worried about that, Michigan actually has a pretty respectable track program. Last I checked, which was about a year ago, was ranked top 30. So it's not a slouch by any means. Definitely Michigan track programs, we have to get involved. And Michigan's, we have to stay aggressive on this because Philip Wright also comes from a feeder school for LSU. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the high school off the top of my head, but essentially some top receivers like Jamar Chase and others have come from this high school. So, it's something Michigan's just going to have to be on top of. They got to keep fighting the fight, and it's not over by any means. And I think as it stands right now, Michigan has the lead. And they're in the driver's seat, but they have to be mindful that LSU is not going to stop. And we know how these SEC programs go. They're just going to keep applying more and more pressure. So we'll see how it goes.
But it is a different world than it might have been a year ago with respect to this. LSU would have just taken him, if it was a year
easy.
ago. Right.
This
Yeah.
wouldn't even be this would not
Yeah.
exactly. And that's actually a great point, Ferris. It goes to show you the advancement in Michigan's recruiting. Because a year ago, we would be talking about how he's at LSU right now. Michigan has just upped its game. They're able to play. Like, look at how many times. Look at all these battles we've won. We beat Alabama for Andrew Olish. We just killed Auburn for Nate Marshall. Nate Marshall didn't even go to Big Cat Weekend in Auburn this weekend. But you know who did go was Notre Dame's quarterback. He went down to Big Cat Weekend. Notre Dame might be losing their damn quarterback right now. And yeah, I mean it's interesting to see that the battles that Michigan is winning right now. It just goes to show you that they've really upped their game, And as we talk about some more of these prospects, like DJ Sanders and Jerome Myles, these are more tells that things are in the right direction.
Yeah, we can get to the rest of the list. I'll just make a really quick comment that it's good to see wide receivers. We're starting to stockpile wide receivers, and it's hinting at the idea that we're going to probably change our style of play over time here over the next couple of years. So just some thoughts there. Yeah.
We've been talking about that, and you'll see more reporting on that as we get closer. And I'm very curious when we start seeing more than just a one-game sample of Kurt Campbell's scheme. Because so far we really just have one example of Kurt Campbell calling plays off of a sheet, most likely that Sharon Moore prepared. So I'm curious to see what happens when he is officially the conductor of the orchestra on offense. He had some good years and before at Old Dominion, and I'm very curious to hear that. Before we get to the others, we do have a super chat from Mike. Any D-line recruits to be looking out for?
Yeah, no, this is actually right on topic, and I'll just jump right to it. So, great question, Mike, and appreciate your $2 super chat. It's always appreciated. The D-line recruit to look out for right now is DJ Sanders. So DJ Sanders is the number one priority right now for defensive line because we've already landed our defensive line with Julius Holly, Nate Marshall, Jalen Williams, and Bobby Kinka, which are all top players. DJ Sanders is the next guy that Michigan's focusing on, and this has been a Michigan-Texas battle, but it just got really interesting in the past week because Texas just took a defensive tackle by the name of what's his name? I got it right here. Josiah Sharma. Okay, they just took a 4-star defensive tackle by the name of Josiah Sharma. DJ Sanders is already planning to visit Michigan at the Texas game, which is the perfect game for him to come up to the big house and experience a game day visit because obviously it's going against the competition. So if we can get the dub, imagine the impact that will have on DJ Sanders. But what made this even better is the fact that Texas just over-recruited him. They just took another guy at his position. So I think this gives Michigan an opportunity here. I think it cracks the door open even more. And we're going to have to see how this plays out. I think Texas might have – I feel they may have been a little aggressive here. But at the end of the day, we'll see. I just think that our opportunity to land DJ Sanders just increased with that move. And then I'll hit on Andrew Marsh. I'll just go through these. Andrew Marsh is the one I wanted to hit an update on. So he had a great weekend. And, as you guys know, who watched our interview last week, he was planning to go to barbecue at the big house. He's pretty locked into Michigan. Let's just be real. He's visited us, I think, 3 times in the last 2 months. This is a major target. He got to not only get more familiar with the recruits and the coaches and the campus and all that, but he also got to throw with Brady Hart, which I mentioned. And he's looking to commit, as he mentioned on our interview, the end of August. And that date is looking like August 20th. So be on the lookout for that. I'm feeling good about it. I have a lock on that. And just be on the lookout. And this is going to be a major get for Michigan. August is going to be a major month for Michigan. And another one who's going to be committed in August is Jayden Sanders. So Jayden Sanders is the cornerback who's rising up the recruiting boards. He came and visited with his family, and Michigan knocked it out of the park. And right now, it's not even a TCU battle anymore, which is Dad's a former legacy. It's an Oklahoma State-Michigan battle. And to be honest with you, Oklahoma State wouldn't even be in the picture if it wasn't for their proximity to home. Because as you guys know, if you've been following our channel, Jayden Sanders is a Texas product, but he's becoming more and more comfortable with the idea of playing further away from home. And Michigan's just doing a great job here. And shout out again to Lamar Morgan. Just he's crushing it right now.
Killing it.
Yeah, he really is, man. So yeah, we're looking good. He's looking to decide August 10th. So be on the lookout for that. So August 20th for Andrew Marsh, August 10th for Jayden Sanders. And then I'll throw this in there too. This wasn't on our list, but Andrew Babaloa is looking to decide. I think it's August 12th. So, and I feel good. I mean, I feel if I had to choose, I would choose Michigan for Andrew Babaloa. I'll say that's a bit harder one to pick, and I don't have a lock on it because I'm not overly confident about it. But it does appear Michigan made a move with Andrew Babaloa. So be on the lookout for Andrew Babaloa, August 12th. Be on the lookout for Jayden Sanders, August 10th, and then August 20th, obviously Andrew Marsh. And then the next one we're going to talk about, and that's 5-star wide receiver Jerome Myles, formerly decommitted from Ole Miss, the Utah product who runs a 10.3 600 meter, 6'3", 215 pounds. This dude is a monster. If we can land him, this is serious. I mean, this would be serious. Michigan had a great weekend with Jerome Myles. He like they did everything they needed to do. I don't know if there's anything more we could ask of Michigan to do. But this recruitment, like the Owasu Boateng recruitment, is going to go the distance. He wants to keep going through the recruiting experience and as well as visiting some other schools. But he does plan on taking an official visit to Michigan for a game day game. So that's also shows a good sign that he came here for unofficial visits for barbecue at the Big House on his own dime. So shout out to that, man. I mean, at the end of the day, Michigan again is just doing what they need to do. Now, can we land these? Are the results going to be what we all want? For a lot of those guys, it's trending that way. Jerome, out of everyone I just mentioned on that list, Jerome Myles is probably the one where it's the biggest question mark, even though the Andrew Babaloa isn't solidified either. But I do feel the Andrew Babaloa recruitment is trending Michigan, or I feel like Michigan has the edge right now. If I had to call it, I'd say Michigan has the edge, but it is a tight race. So I don't want to sell anyone any hope. It just feels that way. And then for Jerome Myles, Michigan's doing what they need to do. And if they can get another visit out of Jerome Myles, that is when we will know. We will have a clearer picture once he is able to come in for another visit.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat to kind of hear your Babaloa take right now. My thoughts are that maybe we need to hire away 3 Stanford professors and bring them into Michigan. Maybe we need to get Sanjay Gupta. I heard he wants to be a doctor. Maybe recruit him to make an in-home visit and try to get Babaloa.
Sanjay Gupta.
Yeah, whatever we need to do. If we get him, we are moving into the top 10. Right? Is that true? Let me just double check that.
Oh, definitely. If we got Andrew Babaloa, no question, we move into the top 10. Yeah, that's a major. Dude. All right, listen. The way things are trending right now with Jayden Sanders, Andrew Marsh, and then the potential of Andrew Babaloa, yes, we would get into the top 10. Yes, we would.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Babaloa is a 5-star, and Andrew Marsh is looking extremely likely. And I did post the link for those who have not seen the interview. So after this show is over, I'm not sending any. I don't see an Oregon show scheduled. So feel free to check the link of the interview if you haven't already. We did a good 18 minutes or so with Andrew Marsh, and kind of you really get to see kind of behind the scenes what it's like to be recruited. What it's like to hear some of these pitches, what it's like to kind of go to a school like Michigan and go through the tours and like what stuck out to him. So definitely check that out. We have a couple of contributions here I want to point out real quick before we get to 2026. Phaedro 23 has just become a YouTube member. Thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member.
Yeah, what tier is it?
I'm looking now. The Connor Stallions espionage team.
VIP, baby. Hey, just be on the lookout for the hangout tomorrow. You have access to our VIP member hangout tomorrow. If you're unable to make it, no big deal. We do it every month at the last week of the month. So just be on the lookout for that. And welcome to Michigan Football, the voice of the college football community. We appreciate it.
Yep. We have a soup. Looks like what else do we have? We have Troy with who's a YouTube member and has given us $5. Tell me about Jacob Alexander. We are at the top of his list, apparently.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of intel on Jacob Alexander, to be honest, at this moment. Because I believe he's a 2026. Let me just double check.
Yeah,
he's not on my. To be honest, Troy, he is not on my radar right now.
We'll do a little research though. Yeah, let's do some research.
He
for Troy.
was offered.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the deal though. So he is a 2026. So 2026 recruiting, I'm just starting to get more familiar with. But yeah, right now Jacob Alexander is not somebody that I have on the radar. But look, he is from Illinois, and he's 6'4", 220-pound edge. But at the end of the day, I can't give you an analysis on it if I don't got it. So. Yeah, he's not a player I'm quite familiar with just yet, but he's somebody I'll definitely keep my eye on for you.
And last but certainly, and thank you, Troy. And last but certainly not least, Detective Loki has gifted a Voice of College Football membership to who got it? Let's see. Sometimes it's hard to.
I need to do a drum roll. We need. I need to get my drum.
99 Go Blue Michigan got it.
Yeah, 90. Welcome 99 Go Blue Michigan to the Those Who Stay Will Be Champions membership tier. And thanks Loki for that contribution. It's really generous to everybody who gifts memberships.
We started this membership thing. We weren't sure exactly what was going to happen, but it has taken off. I mean, it's been fantastic in our first couple months here. So really appreciate all members.
Hasn't even been 2 months yet. But hey, shout out to ZZM. You offered the question for Big Ten Media Days, and you thought we wouldn't take it. Well, we did in fact take your question, and we were able to ask Sharon Moore your question on Big Ten Media Day on national TV. So shout out to you, ZZM.
Yep. He thought we wouldn't take it.
We thought we wouldn't do it, but hey, it was a good question. So I don't know if you saw that, but if not, go check it out because our representative at Big Ten Media Days was able to ask your question. It was pretty cool. I was pretty hyped when we saw that. And then we just got another super chat from Cody Mumford. No question. I just want to say I love the show. Well, no question. We appreciate you, Cody Mumford. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate every single member in the community. We appreciate all the new members, everyone giving memberships, which is growing our community. Everyone in the chat, just even contributing to the community. We appreciate all of you. And obviously our mods who do a great job of promoting the show and trying to keep things in check, although it's not the easiest with our fan base. So, or with the two rival fan bases. But listen, man, like the entire community as a whole and everyone liking the video or even just watching the video for the first time, or maybe you're not sure yet if because you're new to us. We appreciate all of you guys, watching us and giving us your time because I know it's obviously precious and we're all busy. So shout out to all of you.
Yeah, we want to be as humble as possible with respect to the show. It is just amazing how it's taken off, and we haven't gotten to the season yet. So we're really optimistic, but anything you can do, we'd appreciate it. And that could be as little as just hitting the like button.
Absolutely.
Yes, and so while we have a good point here, a good stopping point to continue with 2026, and you mentioned earlier in the show about Savion Hitter, and I believe someone said the pronunciation's different, so let me know because obviously it's Hitter.
It's Hitter.
So we got Savion Hitter, Luke Wafle, and Trey Taylor.
I'm sorry, it's Hider. My bad. It's Savion Hider. Yes. So my bad. That's what it is. All right. So yeah. So Savion Hider is the correct pronunciation. So my bad if I was flipping that. But yeah. So this is RB1 for 2026. Major target. We showed his huddle tape last week. We'll definitely be covering him more as the months go on. Brady Hart was working overtime with his. Brady Hart's parents were working, building a relationship with his parents. Look, I mean, we had a couple running backs on campus. Javion Osborne was another one, and there was another running back that's slipping my mind at the top of my head right now. But at the end of the day, this is RB1 for Michigan, and they did a great job. And it's what you can ask for at this point. See, barbecue weekend for 2026 is really just about building relationships, getting them familiar with the campus and the program, and letting them, understand what is the standard and the culture at Michigan. And Michigan was able to do that. And Savion Hitter was here for 3 days, so he got to experience it all. And from my understanding, they knocked it out of the park with Savion Hitter. So we'll see where it goes. Great to see. Definitely a recruitment we'll be on top of. And then the next one I want to hit on is Luke Wafle, who we talked about again last week. And by all accounts, Sharon Moore knocked it out of the park. Lou Esposito knocked it out of the park. And the great news is Owen Wafle, his older brother, is essentially telling his younger brother, "You're coming to Michigan." That's what it is. And on top of that, what's really good, though, this is one of those brother relationships where they really actually like each other. And Luke Wafle, I guess, apparently really looks up to Owen a lot. So that's a huge feather in the cap for Michigan. This kid is a must get. This is an extremely talented edge product. This isn't just some nepotism situation. This is a legitimate prospect who would be a major addition to 2026. And if we are able to land him, which early indications are looking positive, that it's trending that direction, great for us. And, and looking forward to seeing him don the maize and blue. And then we got to hit on our 2027 QB1 target, because we already have our 2026 QB1 target. Trey Taylor, who has already been on campus 15 times, and he's a 2027, the product out of Illinois. So this is what I had my guy, I was talking to my guy, and he told me if this class was not 2 years away, he feels like Trey Taylor would be a Michigan Wolverine. But because it's 2 years away, he's obviously going to go through the process a little bit. It is early to commit already, things like that. But the relationship is just so good, and they're just so comfortable. Things are just trending really well there. So like, I'm not locking in, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I do want to let you guys all know, be on the lookout for Trey Taylor, get familiar with his name, because this kid is, we could check him out. You got to remember, this kid is a freshman, and look at his arm. Okay, this kid is top of the line. Yeah, it's elite. This kid is looking to be our next quarterback at the University of Michigan. He's way ahead of his growth curve. He has what you're looking for in terms of arm power and accuracy and everything. He has a beautiful spiral. He's an elite passer at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, and it's just so funny looking how small he is too. And his ability to throw out balance too. I mean, This kid's a big time player, dude. I'm just telling you right now, like, if we can land Trey Taylor, and I got some flack because we had our segment on the quarterback rooms between Michigan and Ohio State, and I made a comment about how I believe potentially Michigan could have a better quarterback room in a few years when they get you have Jayden Davis, you have Carter Smith, Brady Hart, and then this is Trey Taylor. And I'm sure a lot of Ohio State fans are not familiar with Trey Taylor. They're probably not familiar with Brady Hart either. And they probably don't know too much about Carter Smith because he isn't quite a Michigan Wolverine yet. But I'm just trying to let you guys know this is elite talent. I know you guys also get elite talent, but I've watched the film on our guys, and I'm telling you right now, these are serious players. And I still stand by what I said. I even, I call some flack on social media for it. All good, all love. But at the end of the day, I think Michigan's building a hell of a quarterback room. And if we could add this kid to the room, again, the outlook for the Michigan quarterback position is looking mighty healthy. Look at him. Just good decision making. he's just
it takes care of the football.
Yeah, he's really an elite player, man. I'll tell you right now, we can land Trey Taylor. That's gonna be a hell of a recruiting breakdown by me. I'm gonna be through the roof.
Well, it speaks also to that pipeline that we were talking about earlier, that we're building a pipeline. And did we really have that many even in the quarterback position? How many did we have before JJ? In Harbaugh's time, it was hit or miss. Yeah.
Yeah, no, quarterback recruiting was not. Look, dude, it wasn't. We did get like Brandon Peters, who was a top 5 at his position, and obviously Dylan McCaffrey and Joe Milton was a lower level. He was a 4-star, but it was a lower level 4-star, and Dylan McCaffrey, so he did land some top 10 players, but like this is a different level. Brady Hart, Trey Taylor, these are your JJ level or better potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's saying a lot because JJ was everything at Michigan, but I'm talking just as the athlete. JJ was more than just the quarterback. He was mentally, JJ was ahead of the game, which is why he was such a winner. But yeah, no, Trey Taylor and Brady Hart are the real deal. And if we could land that, we're talking some elite shit here.
Yeah, I think that it is. Let's see. So this is Juju has a good point here. That it's going to be hard. Like keeping the quarterback room of that level of talent. When once you do have a Brady Hart, who by the way, I'm not too worried about Brady Hart transferring out, given his all-in mentality, just like JJ had when he was recruited in and started recruiting for Michigan right away. But it is a legit point to say that when the talent level goes up a lot in the quarterback room, that they need to have that mentality of iron sharpens iron and let's compete.
Yeah,
because that's just the Michigan way.
Yeah, and the good news for us is the best will stay, or you hope at least. You hope we don't have a Joe Burrow situation, right? Ohio State, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, so I'll say this. In my opinion, I think we're in a good position, and I hear what you're saying, Juju. But if we break it down, I think Jayden Davis is QB1 of the future. I think Carter Smith is more of a developmental. Not that he can't be a very good quarterback, but unless he polishes his ability to throw the ball and his mechanics, I'm not so sure he could be QB1 in Michigan. That's really going to be a limiting factor. We'll see though. If I'm wrong on that. And I also listen. He may very well improve his mechanics this year, this offseason. I haven't seen any recent tape on him yet. I do know it has been improving from the spring stuff I saw. But Brady Hart, let's just be real, is going to be QB1 in Michigan at some point. So then the real debate comes down to Trey Taylor and Brady Hart. But I'll tell you what, that's a hell of a problem down the road that we can all debate later. But at the end of the day, let's get him in the room and find out who's the man, who's top dog, who wants to lead the team to the next national title. Because you have your signal call. And look at it this way, though, Juju. You get Trey Taylor committed. Talk about recruiting picking up when you got Brady Hart. You got classes of Carter Smith, Brady Hart, and Trey Taylor, receivers, running backs. They're going to want to play for these quarterbacks.
Loki, real quick, does want to ask you, TJ, a really important question here. Asking how much to recreate Kyle McCord's dance moves.
That's funny. I don't know. Do I have a number? Let's see. I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'll think about it. Maybe ask me
get
on
back
Thursday.
to us.
I might give you a number.
Ferris?
All right. Yeah. Well, a little note on the iron sharpens irons. I have been I'm not afraid to admit it. I've been watching the women's gymnastics and the the Simone Biles, and then you've got everybody else.
You watched it earlier?
And yesterday, yesterday there were 4 of them, and only 2 of them made it to the team final. That's kind of the rule. Only 2 of them can make it to the team finals. And the third best gymnast in the entire world might not even get to compete for the gold medal. They don't even get to represent their country because they have 4, and then only 2 make it to that final. So you have to have a different. I mean, it's a kind of co-opetition, kind of. They're hugging each other. They're kind of positive, but in the same sense, like a tenth of a point, and one of them gets in and the other one doesn't. It could be, even this year, it could be razor thin who the quarterback is, and you've got to just be mentally tough, right? So
we're going to be talking about. Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about Chris Campbell's comments on that today.
Absolutely. All righty. So just making a couple quick snippets here because we've added another 14 members between gifted and everything else. So thank you.
I want to give a shout out to Johnny Olden. He's been
Johnny Olden.
He's been in the comments. He has a YouTube channel. He's going to be joining me next week on the call-in show. That's breaking news. He actually just sent me an email. So shout out to Johnny Olden if you're watching, my guy. Looking forward to doing the call-in show with you next week, Thursday. This week, Thursday, it's going to be me and John. And definitely looking forward to that show.
Likewise. So let's keep it rolling here at the Voice of College Football Michigan channel. And we do want to everybody hit that Amazon link when you're doing your shopping on Amazon. Help support Voice of College Football. So fall camp is officially here. Football season is here. And we had two kind of quotes. So Kurt Campbell and Wink Martindale both had a presser. And there was kind of one piece that I pulled from each quote. The first being Kurt Campbell, who's now in charge of the offense at Michigan. And he made a big statement because we didn't know that this was going to be the case until this was said. The QB depth chart going into fall is going to be based on seniority, which means Jack Tuttle, who's been playing football for 11 years, I'm exaggerating, but 7, he's going to be starting in the beginning. Everyone will get reps with the ones, all of them, every single quarterback. But it's going to be a seniority-based depth chart. So what did you think of that quote? And was that what you expected going into the fall, TJ?
I think it's the right approach. I think they've done this before. I think this is a Harbaugh philosophy thing where they've done this. I think it's the right thing to do. And also, on this, Kurt Campbell said they don't have the quarterback decided, and they're going to wait until week 1 to make a decision. He said this in his press conference today, which is the right approach again. So the Jack Tuttle smoke we were hearing 2 weeks ago, and I told you guys, I'm not buying it. They're not even in camp yet. Listen, I'm not saying it won't be the outcome, but what I am saying is they don't know today. I don't know wherever that's coming from, which we do know where it's coming from. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be a battle. This is the right approach. Let the seniority get the first reps, and then may the best man win. And do not hand it to anybody. That's it too. Look, we're Team Orgy here. As Ferris likes to point out, Alex Orgy can indeed throw a forward pass. But, at the end of the day, we are Team Michigan, and we just want Michigan to win and have the best opportunity to win. So whoever that is, may the best man win, and I think the approach they're taking with it is the correct approach.
All right. If you want to take Cody's comment first, and we can, if you'd like. I can riff off that.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Cody, for the $5. So I hate to be that guy, hearing a lot that Tuttle is on par or ahead of Orgy. A few other guys I follow are saying it more and more. Thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of like I said, listen, I know we've heard it too, but at the end of the day, camp has not started. I'm not buying it. I think personally, these kids are going to go through a camp battle, and I don't think anyone's won the job yet. There's no way you're going into camp with these 3 options being well, Tuttle's going to be, no, you got to see what Tuttle does in camp. And how do we know? I mean, I'm not going to bring it up, but things happen in camp, where players are unable to play, I'm not going to say the word to jinx it. I'm not trying to jinx somebody, but at the end of the day, these kids are going to have to earn this job. And I don't think anyone has been, I'll tell you this right now. I'd be willing to bet money the coaching staff has no idea who the starter is at week 1. So there's no way anyone has a source telling them anything on that. No way.
Yeah. So John, can you pull up our names and our little taglines underneath that, just so I can fully articulate?
Hold on a sec.
Oh shit! Yeah.
It's all right if you can't.
I got it.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Thanks.
Yes, I believe that Alex Orgy can complete a forward pass, and so I think. I mean, this is not a numbers based analysis. I need to kind of separate my emotion from so from a emotional standpoint, he has the biggest upside. Will he have the majority of passes in the season? Yes. Will other quarterbacks play? Yes. And I think that'll probably happen in game 1. I think there'll be some level of split duty. And I think it plays into, they need to win the game. They need to beat Fresno State, but they also need to get Texas kind of thinking. You're thinking about different things. So I don't think, my personal opinion is that they will name a starting quarterback until we start playing that Texas game. And that will be the starting quarterback for the rest of the year, unless there's an injury or unless there's some situation where they're getting blown out by Texas and they've got to make a move.
And you might see it like literally a minute before the Texas game starts. You'll see that footage that they always show, like right before kickoff, where they show like who's taking the snaps and everything. That's probably when you're going to see. I don't even think they'll make the announcement before that, because why would they? If this is going to drag on, they might as well not give Texas any indication of which quarterback they're going to face.
I was just going to say that. So, like, that's another thing too. No, it's a great point, John. Why the hell would you tell Texas who the hell the starting quarterback is? Why would you limit their preparation? No, you make them prepare for all three quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So this is not only, this is freaking chess we're talking about here. Michigan's not going to give their hand. They're not going to tip their hand on what they're going to do. They're going to play this close to the vest all the way to week one. And I agree, Ferris. I think it is possible you see a split quarterback situation with week one. I think we all agree we should probably handle Fresno State pretty easily, especially because they don't have a head coach right now, they have an interim coach right now. And I think Michigan is going to, it's potentially possible Michigan does identify a quarterback, and they're still going to keep it quiet from the public. And I wouldn't even say that's potentially possible. It's probably highly likely. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, it's to their advantage. Just hypothetically, if there's a 100-page playbook, and each quarterback is 20, is focused on 20 pages, two different sets of 20 pages, then make Texas have to prepare for anything, that entire 100-page playbook, right? So
I hear what you're saying. Like each quarterback overlaps 60% of the playbook, and then the other 40%.
Yeah. Let's say something like that, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But like even beyond that, they don't know what the hell the playbook is. But like the reality is, they got to watch the film. I don't know if my camera just froze. I saw that. Am I froze?
We can hear you. No, you moved.
Now you're back.
Again. Yeah,
you're back.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, they have no idea what the playbook is, especially with a new offensive coordinator, Kirk Campbell. But they are not going to know. It's going to be the element of surprise to the best of their ability, right? So we'll see where it goes. I mean, and let me also stress this too, because especially for me and Ferris, because we're going to do the pregame show for the Fresno State game, as well as our lead up that week. And me and John's going to have the post-game show. That our offense week one is going to be very vanilla. So be very prepared right now that Michigan is not going to show its cards before week two against Texas. So I can already tell in the post-game show, John, we're going to get some phone calls. People are like, what the hell? We're not, but just be ready that Michigan's going to keep their cards close to the vest for that game. Because obviously I think we all understand how critical that game is for the season.
It's a night game, so the juices will be flowing though. So I'll just put it that way.
Yeah,
it's
I think it's at 7:30.
7:30.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Yeah, I think they're gonna play vanilla unless Fresno State somehow forces them not to. Right? If Fresno State keeps it a close game and Michigan may have to pull the tab back, of course they're going to win the game no matter what. So if they need to put a drive together and peel off to page 2 on the playbook, they're going to do it. But otherwise, and I don't anticipate that happening, that there's going to be a lot of Donovan Edwards and Kalel Mullings inside zone. Probably.
Yeah, I agree with that. Shout out to Nate Jordan. He says, I love the channel. I'm a new member. My name is Nate. Let's go Blue. Shout out, Nate. Appreciate you joining the channel. I didn't quite see. Do we have him in the membership thing, John? Or maybe he joined a couple days ago?
Yeah, he might be saying he just became a subscriber because I don't see a
thank you for
badge.
Subscribing, man. If you are a subscriber, we appreciate you subscribing.
Absolutely. Welcome to the voice of college football and the Michigan channel. Okay, we got a lot still to rock through here. So here we go. Let's roll. So number 1 defense in the country, according to Wink Martindale. I love his attitude. I don't know about you guys, but there was a little piece of me in the back of my head when he was announced Does he have that second win? Does he have that like drive? Like, I know he's going to be a competent defensive coordinator because of everything he's done, but it seems like he's gotten this like reinvigoration in every interview I've seen him at. He seems ready to do this, and he wants the defense to be the top in the country.
Dude, Wink Martindale has that fuck you mentality. For any children listening, I apologize, but he's literally on some FU shit, and I love it. He's literally about let's put the ball on the field and let's smash. I mean, Wink Martindale's press conference today was very interesting. And look, it echoes what we've been saying. We feel confident we're a top 10 defense, possibly top 5, maybe number 1 in the nation. We should be better than we were last year. I'd be more confident in that and saying that if Rod Moore never got injured. If Rod Moore never got injured, I may guarantee we'd be better. But with that unknown, we'll see. But we should be a damn good defense this year. And I think Wink knows that. Wink knows we're going to be good. He was talking about how he likes, his corners to play man. He likes to have multiple packages for blitzing, and then he got into what he was going to do with the safeties. And he's like, well, don't worry about what our safeties are going to do, because we have disguises and stuff like that, So, shout out to Wink Martindale. I think he is a great transition from Jesse Minter to the new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, quick points about that. I think Angelique asked him about Don Brown. What about Don? Like the Don Brown thing. I think it was Angelique. So, and he talked about looking at his sort of body of work, not just the last year. Actually, out of the whole interview, what I liked the most was when he was talking about Sharon Moore. And he is so all in with Sharon Moore. He called him an excellent leader. He said, Sharon Moore cares. He cares about players' families. He cares about my own family. It was just great to see that. You could see the presence that Sharon Moore has. He is not a rookie coach in that sense of the word. He knows what he's doing, and he is evolved into being a CEO leader very quickly. It took, we're saying it is very quickly, but year one, and I have total confidence in Sharon Moore. Dependent Fanatic had an interesting comment, but I just kind of scrolled past it there.
I had it on the screen.
Okay.
That's another one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see what you can tell that he's enthusiastic. He isn't playing out the string in his career or anything like that. He is. He wants to win. He wants to make Sharon more successful and the whole team successful. You can see reinvigorated, I think, is what Dependent Fanatic said, right? So I agree with that word.
Yeah, and I also like Moose's comment because he's right.
Yes.
Wink Martindale said, "We're never the hunted; we're always the hunters," and you can see that in the coaches that were brought in. You can see that in the players that we have in Michigan, and he's right. And Dan Campbell, Lions are obviously my NFL team, and Dan Campbell has a quote that's one of my favorite quotes ever, and he says, "If you're looking for us, you don't have to look far because we'll be on your front porch when you open the door." You know what I'm saying? So that's just like one of the hardest quotes I've ever heard in my life. And look, hey, good luck in November, Steve. Enjoy that out, buddy, and enjoy your coaching search too, bro. But
just a point. The question was literally asked of him. So, I hope Ohio State fans and the coaching staff are have the same mentality that when we blitz in early games, but then we disguise it in the Ohio State game, that they overlook that. That would be great. Yeah, I really hope that we're able to deceive them into thinking that it is Don Brown 2.0.
Of course we will. What the hell, dude? Our defense bro, they have trouble reading our defense and deciphering it. Lamar Morgan comes from the Jesse Minter tree. We brought Lamar Morgan in. He knows the disguises just as well as Jesse Minter, and Wink Martindale is obviously versed in this entire scheme. I have no concern that we are going to be extremely multiple in this defense. I think, and I've mentioned this before with Wink Martindale, the strength of our defense is, one, obviously it's versatile, but two, our back end coverage disguises that we were able to implement which are NFL caliber that these college kids have never seen. And Jim Harbaugh famously said it. They were seeing ghosts out there. Well, the beautiful thing is Wink Martindale does the very same thing with the front seven, where he has blitz disguises. And like, these offensive linemen and quarterbacks have never seen anything like this. I don't give a shit, bro. Now, don't get me wrong. And I know there's probably some Buckeyes. Well, Chip Kelly has. Yeah, Chip Kelly did play in the NFL. He will be more prepared than most offensive coordinators in college. But at the end of the day, this defense is extremely unique in its ability to shut down run games, shut down passing games, and make mobile quarterbacks immobile. That's what's so beautiful about it. And that's what Jim Harbaugh set Wink Martindale to do when he designed this defense. It took Wink Martindale 8 months to create this defense, and where it's come from like about 10 years ago when he created it to where it is now. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's dominating not only the NFL, but also the college game right now.
All right, y'all. Absolutely is. We have some contributions here. Michael Jones, YouTube member, with the $2 super. Appreciate you. We got Moose with another gift. He just gifted You Drink It. You Drink It. Welcome to the Those Who Stay Will Be Champions tier of the YouTube membership here at Michigan Football, Voice of College Football. And you have Moose to thank for your month of free membership. So You Drink It is now a YouTube member. And finally, we have a point, and then we'll get right into our running back preview. So Justin with the $5. Guys, could Michigan offense use the Army triple option Antoine's going to love this. The Army triple option package. We could use Max as a fullback dive.
Yeah, I don't know if Michigan would use that. And hey, shout out to you, Justin. I was wondering where you were. I haven't seen you all night. But shout out to Justin. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Yeah, I don't know if Michigan's going to be doing the triple option package, but they might do the 10 offensive lineman package and just run over defensive lines like they like to do from time to time. But I don't know. Yeah, you never know with Sharon Moore what he's got up his sleeve. I'm not too sure if we'll be running the triple option though.
I would love it for a player to. Let's see if it could work. Run it until they stop it.
Alex Orji, Max Bredesen, and Donovan Edwards.
Yeah, why not run it until they can stop it? I mean, that would be hilarious if they could do that. In the third and fourth quarter of a game in late November.
I like the Maryland eye with two fullbacks, and you throw Kalel Mullings and Bredesen in there as the two fullbacks. The Maryland eye. I hope we get to see that at least once this year. That would be fun.
Now, have either of you tried anything like this in college football 25?
Yes,
with Michigan,
and it worked.
Okay, it worked. Okay, good.
Yeah, we got the first down. Speaking of that, we are broadcasting on YouTube as well as X as well as Twitch, and if we continue to up we have the link in there. Go ahead and give us a follow on Twitch. If we get to 25 follows, I will play a college football 25 on Twitch.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
I'll do as Michigan, I'll play whatever the chat wants me to play, Texas or Ohio State or whoever.
Let's do it.
Blue Wolverines.
Hey, Blue Wolverines, what's up, man? Appreciate you.
There it
Hell
is.
Yeah. We need to build that Twitch community.
And another one. DJ Khaled. Moose has gifted Gregory Hart. So Gregory Hart, welcome to the Those Who Stay Will Be Champions tier of YouTube membership. Moose has been killing it today, and Moose also just lost 65 pounds. So congratulations.
Yeah, Justin with the $5 super chat. Remember when we played Army and they ran it all game long? Yeah, I do remember that shit. Didn't Aiden Hutchinson save our ass on that game? Wasn't that the one on like fourth down?
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that game. That was a stressful ass game.
Yeah, and then everybody cheered like we had just beat Alabama or something when we edged past Army, and I was like, this is pretty. I'm feeling pretty low right now with this speed and space going on, and you barely beat Army.
Bro, bad memories. Let's move forward. Bad memories.
Yes. Push. We're in a new era. Just won a natty.
Hey, it was Quiddy Pay, so apologies. Yeah, I try to forget. I'm trying to block out. Those were bad times.
Yeah. So now, look, there is a big running back question, folks, over whether during the season Kalel Mullings may actually overtake Donovan Edwards. Now, I have them as 1A, 1B right now, and that has been echoed in quite a few publications and things that I've seen, kind of a 1A, 1B. TJ, I'll start with you, but what's kind of your take on Donovan and Kalel? Do you see them as being kind of like a Corum and Haskins in 2021, where they're kind of swapped in and out in different ways? How do you see that going?
Yeah, I definitely see a similar split between, just as like Corum was to Edwards. I think Edwards is going to get the rock. I think Sharon Moore and co. understand Donovan took a backseat to Corum last year on many occasions, and Donovan Edwards was very frustrated over that, but he was still a team player. This is Donovan Edwards' year. I expect a big year out of Donovan Edwards. I have a bold prediction, which I'll hit when we do bold predictions for the running back room. But Kalel Mullings is going to be that second change-up back. And I think we're going to have a damn good run game this year. I think both these guys offer a very potent 1-2 punch. I think we've all saw Kalel Mullings really coming into his own last year. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this duo. I think it's going to be deadly. And, I think the Michigan run dominance will continue for 2024.
Yeah, I liked what Sam Webb said, I think a week or two ago, where he said, I'm paraphrasing him. He didn't say it exactly like this, but it's sort of like, take the 5 yards when it's given to you, and I think, basically Donovan Edwards has to kind of adjust. He can't be looking to get to the house every single play. And I think he had that mentality, maybe influenced by Corum being there, there may be situations where you take a higher percentage 5 yards rather than, maybe going into the block because you think you can break through the block and run off a 60-yarder or something like that. So to put it in baseball terms, what I would say is that, he's kind of a home run hitter is what I would say, and he needs to be maybe more like a 300 hitter that gets some, fewer home runs, but he's consistent. He's getting consistent yardage on every drive.
Right. Yeah, hitting for average for sure. I think we saw that, with the spring game, he looked a little more patient. He looked like he had a good feel for the game. He had a good burst. I think Donovan Edwards will be a more complete back this year. I think previously his vision wasn't the best. And I also think he was just moving a little too fast. He needed to slow down before he hit the hole, wait for the hole to develop. We were seeing that last spring game. He looked like a different running back in a good way, though. He looked like he took the next level. We'll see this fall. Looking forward to it, though.
Yeah, Donovan and Kalel, you're going to see some really – what I love about these two is that they're so versatile in terms of players. Donovan Edwards has put on some weight and has been in the weight room to be able to become that more of a short yardage back. I still expect Kalel Mullings to get a decent chunk of those as well. But Donovan Edwards, of course, has the other X factor in that he can also be in the receiving game and can play in the slot, as well as I think he could even be. You could even see a deep passing route once or twice with Donovan Edwards. Heck, he can even throw the football.
Yeah, I was just going to say he could also.
You don't know what's going to happen.
I fully expect Donovan Edwards to get some role in the passing game and then use Kalel Mullings as the back in sets. I think they will split Donovan Edwards out wide. I think we're going to see, and we got another Twitch chatter, so shout out to our Twitch chatters. Our Twitch,
yes,
I thought up to 4 viewers, but we'll take it, man. Appreciate shout out all you guys doing that, watching on Twitch. But yeah, I mean, I fully expect the offense to have additional weapons with Donovan Edwards in the slot, and then you got Kalel Mullings in the back. So yeah, I mean, it's I'm optimistic about this position group right now, or for the season going into it.
And then you also do see, and I'll go right from this into the questions here. But you'll also see some depth players. You'll see Ben Hall, and especially in games Fresno State and games where you're in that, you have that garbage time, you have that third and fourth quarter where you want to give the top two some rest. You're going to see some Ben Hall, some Jordan Marshall, some Tavier Dunlap, some Cole Cabana, and even friend of the program who is in our introduction every episode now, Micah Kapana. And so with the starters and the depth, we go to this question. Who do each of you have as your X factor for running backs, your sleeper, and any bold predictions you want to share? I'll start with TJ.
Yeah, first I want to give a shout out to Micah Kapana's family member who's a member of our channel. Shout out to you. We appreciate that. We all think that's cool as hell. But who's the X factor? The X factor is Donovan Edwards. And Ferris, if I steal any thunder here, my bad. I think I might.
Well,
but,
I mean, that's fine. You give your opinion.
Donovan Edwards is the X factor. I think we can all see that, it's his time to shine. It's his year. My sleeper is Cole Cabana. I think Cole Cabana is a damn firecracker. I think his big thing for him is to stay healthy. Last year he got injured. This kid is a 10.5 500 meter running back. He's a monster waiting to get his opportunity. Now listen, the depth chart, you got Ben Hall ahead of him probably, and you have Tavier Dunlap possibly, and then obviously Kalel Mullings and Donovan Edwards. But I do think Cole Cabana will get some run, and I'm looking forward to that. And then my bold prediction is Donovan Edwards, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns.
Woo.
For the year.
Damn.
Okay, and that includes receiving and...
No. 1,500 rushing.
Rushing. Okay.
Big year for Big Don.
Okay. All right. So X Factor, I mean, it's hard to not say, you got to give it to the cover boy of college football 25. Sleeper, I mean, I'm going to go with Mullings because because I think that he's going to get more stats than people think. I think he'll be a little bit he's not going to be the exact 1-2 punch. He's not going to replace Corum, for example, but he's going to be better than people think. He'll be, the 1 and 1A, it'll be closer to that. It won't be 1 and 2. Bold prediction. So I'm in a mess with bold prediction. I have a whole bunch of bold predictions, which I'm trying to kind of refine. So that's part of what I want to sort of crowdsource with all the viewers here. But one bold prediction that I made, like a proposed bold prediction, and that is at least one Michigan player. Well, it'll be one. It's not going to be more than one. One Michigan player will be in New York in the Heisman Trophy as a Heisman Trophy finalist. And I mean, there's really only two players to pick, Will Johnson or Donovan Edwards. So I'm not going to make that a bold prediction that it will be Donovan Edwards, but maybe it's spanning the running back position.
Give a bold prediction. What are you doing?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say there's a good chance that Michigan will have a successful season enough that either Donovan Edwards or Will Johnson will be in New York.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah. For me, X Factor, Donovan Edwards. I think big game Don. You got to go with him, but don't sleep on Jordan Marshall, who a lot of people in chat have mentioned. Jordan Marshall is my sleeper and my bold prediction because I think that by the playoffs, Jordan Marshall is going to be in the starting rotation with the other two. So I'm not saying that Jordan Marshall is going to be out there play one, snap one, but I am going to say that Jordan Marshall by the playoffs, if he plays the way that I expect him to play year one, he'll be in that rotation with Donovan Edwards and Kalel Mullings, especially given that they're going to use Donovan Edwards in the slot, I think, quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a great pick. That's a great pick. It definitely could happen. All right, what's your bold prediction?
That was my sleeper and my bold
All right,
prediction is
my
that
bad.
he's going to be in the starting rotation
All
by
right,
the playoffs.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, hey, that's legit, man. That's legit. All right, let's give a shout out to Justin here. We got a
Yes.
super chat. Guys, the Don has the passer rating on the team, has maybe the best passer rating on the team. Was he like batting 1,000? And then
Yeah.
shout out to you, Justin. Thanks for the super chat. And then Oprah Moose, Santa Moose giving out gifts to everybody. One membership. I don't have it on me who he sent it out to, but shout out to
Oregon Stacker.
Hey, you know what? Oregon fans need love too, so we'll give him some love. Shout out to him, and then our boy, our fellow network friend, if I can find it, Tim is in the chat. I would pull it up if I could find it. Shout out to Tim Prangley, host of the USC channel. Always good to see him supporting our channel. We appreciate that. So
yeah, I tried to get him to see if I could get him to deliver dinner to me, but he said just go to some nice restaurants around here. So okay.
Yeah. There's our boy Tim.
There he is. John. And then did we hit on the remember when we played Army? They ran it all game long.
Yeah, we saw. He
did two about Army back to back. Yeah. So yeah. So the second one. So thank Justin. You demand. And yes, I remember that they were not very good passing in that game. If I recall correctly, they tried to pass like once or twice, and it was like the other side of a barn somewhere. When they tried to pass. Okay. So with that said, let's keep rolling here at the Voice of College Football with O-line. So we'll keep this. We have talked about the O-line once or twice, Michigan Wolverines live, but it has been a minute, and we do have, I believe this is a swap at guard from what we had last time, if I recall. But I have Myles Hinton, of course, the returning sort of start, like he had starting games last year. Then, of course, Josh Preeb from Northwestern transfer, Greg Crippen at center, finally getting his time after a few years on the bench. Giovanni El-Hadi, same thing at right guard. And then Andrew Gentry at right tackle for your starters. And my question to you both is this. Can Grant Newsome and Sharon Moore recapture the magic of the previous 3 years on O-line? TJ?
Yeah, I mean, so I think you have it right, John, with left guard. Yeah, I think this unit right here, it can be a very elite unit. Now, I think it's Joe Moore award-winning quality. That's where I have to pump the brakes. I don't know if it's going to be Joe Moore award-winning quality, but let me also say that's an assumption to me. I don't know. We're going to find out together this fall. But I mean, look, Myles Hinton has starting experience at Stanford. He also got a lot of reps last year. Josh Preeby is all Big Ten level guard. He obviously was Northwestern's best offensive lineman, and he came to Michigan. Greg Crippen's been in the slow cooker for over 3 years, learning behind Olu Oluwatimi and Drake Nugent. And then Giovanni El-Hadi, former top 100 prospect, he's also had a lot of reps. So, it's not anything he hasn't seen. The question for me is Andrew Gentry. Can we get consistent play out of Andrew Gentry? And if we can get consistent play out of Andrew Gentry, we're going to have a hell of an offensive line this year.
Will Michigan regress? I think overall, it's hard to say that they won't regress. And there's only two real positions where you could say, okay, where are they going to regress? And one is quarterback and one is, the offensive line together as a unit. Are they, but the team is going to be different. We're probably going to have a slightly lower scoring team. We are probably going to have, it's not going to be the best in college football, our offensive line, but if Alex Orji is the quarterback, or even if he isn't, we may have a more mobile quarterback, or at least showing that, or on the field more mobile, because I do think JJ is a pretty mobile quarterback. So the unit in combination, and we have an experienced Donovan Edwards, who's also already had absolutely monster games against, in the biggest games, he's had monster games, right? So So I think this whole team works as a team, and I would say there will be regression in the offensive line, but it's not as bad as people think. The returning production number, we've talked about this before, is a little bit deceptive because we have a lot of players that have experience.
Right.
They just haven't been starters, or they've come in from other teams as well, right? So.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think that's a great point. I mean, as I mentioned, a lot of these guys have time on task already. They have a lot of reps. They are battle tested, so it should be a fairly smooth transition.
Well, I just want to say this. I hope they don't get the Joe Moore Award, because every time Michigan or Washington got the Joe Moore Award the last 3 years, they get absolutely walloped in the in the finale. So I actually think let's have a better O-line than the Joe Moore Award. And look, if there's anybody, and even some Buckeye podcasts have said this, if there's anybody who can put this unit together to be elite, one of the most elite O-line units, it's going to be Sharon Moore and now Grant Newsome. That's a good. Sharon Moore isn't going anywhere. He's still his influence is still gonna be all over the offense. I'm sure of it, especially O-line, because that's his real passion in terms of position. So I think that's huge. Real quick on depth. We do have a couple of names here that some of whom you've probably seen in past years that have come back. Some new players, but as we did last time, we've got 3 here on X Factor, Sleeper, and Bold Prediction. TJ, with O-line, who do you think is going to be the X Factor and Sleeper and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so my X factor is going to be Giovanni El-Hadi. I think Giovanni El-Hadi is going to be a monster this year. I think it's his time. He has waited patiently. This is the type of offensive lineman who should have been starting at a Power 4 level the last 2 seasons, and he's waited his turn because he's been behind Joe Moore award-winning offensive lines. He is a dog. He's a damn good offensive lineman. I expect him to have an all Big Ten type season. Looking forward to that. My sleeper is going to be, I don't know if it's really a sleeper though. I think Jeffrey Percy is the sleeper for the offensive line. Now, and the reason why I'm not going with Andrew Gentry is because there's consistency issues with Andrew Gentry. We'll find out if he can handle those in camp. But I'm going with Jeffrey Percy because he is the backup offensive tackle behind Andrew Gentry. So that's my sleeper. I think, if it's not Andrew Gentry, it will be Jeffrey Percy. And then my bold prediction is I think Michigan's offensive line will still generate a top run unit. And I would say 3 all Big Ten caliber offensive linemen. And those 3, by the way, would be Myles Hinton, Josh Preby, and Giovanni El-Hadi.
All right. I will go with El-Hadi for the X Factor. Josh Preby out of Northwestern, I think would be the sleeper. People not thinking about a transfer, kind of situation there. Bold prediction. I don't know if a negative is a bold prediction or not, but I already said that there's going to be some regression here. Statistically, we're not going to be at the top of all of college football, 130 plus teams, but we'll be in the upper half of statistically, we'll be in the upper half of the Big Ten, and people might be a little bit down on that, but I'm just telling you what I see. It's kind of maybe a negative bold prediction, but maybe that's hidden a little bit because we have Donovan Edwards who can rip off home runs and maybe be a Miguel Cabrera. I see Miguel Cabrera back there, a 300 hitter that can also get home runs. So if he can do that, maybe that hides some of the, masks some of the regression that we have on the offensive line.
Ooh. So O-line's a tough one. You know, because I think a lot, especially since we have literally one player that's had starting reps, they could all be for any of these. But I'm going to go with Josh Preeb as X Factor. The reason is that he had 764 snaps last season. He has the experience to be able to come in and play the role, get that push that's going to be sorely needed. Remember, he was part of that Cinderella Northwestern season last year when everybody expected them to go 1-11 or 2-10, including myself. I had them at 2-10, and they won like 8 games or something like that. So he was part of that success. I'm going to put him as the X Factor. The sleeper, El Hadi could be an X Factor. He could be a sleeper because a lot of people don't know El Hadi. But if you've been following him, he's been waiting his turn, and I think he's ready to explode. And I see him as a sleeper. Bold prediction. Is it a bold prediction to say that Michigan will not win the Joe Moore Award in 2024, but will go deep into, I think we'll have a pretty solid playoff run with the strength of this O-line. That's what I'm thinking. I think Michigan's going to go 10-2 and is going to win at least one playoff game in the postseason. So with that said, that's my O-line 3, and we do have a couple of super chats here I want to hit. So we'll start with the on-topic one with Justin $2. Who's going to be the tight, like the blocking tight end, I think is what he's asking in the O-line.
He's the 6th offensive lineman. So how Michigan likes to do those,
like a Trente.
Yeah. So this year that would be Jeffrey Percy. Jeffrey Percy would be your 6th offensive lineman. I think he would get that role. We'll find out if Jeffrey Percy gets the starting tackle position. Then I expect it to be Andrew Gentry. But yeah, so the 6th offensive lineman will be Jeffrey Percy.
There it is. We do also have a super chat from Matt Miller, who hosts our Texas Longhorns live show every Monday on the Voice of College Football. If you haven't seen the preview that we did with Michigan versus Texas that we did a couple of weeks ago with my shitty hotel Wi-Fi, you can definitely check that out. And there's some good clips from that as well on the Michigan channel. Matt asks, hey boys, if Jack Tuttle starts versus my boys, aka Texas, what is the chance that they win? I say 25%. We will break it down though. That is for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, we will definitely break it down. I can't give you a percentage yet until I'll tell you this. I'd probably put it around 40. If I had to give a number, if you gave us a 4.99 super chat, if I had to give a number, it'd be 40.
Yeah, it's a 3.5 point spread, which kind of gives you that 40 to 45% chance of winning if you're a 3.5 point underdog. That's historically what it's like. So maybe 38 to 42% chance of winning, somewhere in there. If it's Tuttle, does that line actually move where it's not 3.5, it becomes 4 or 4.5? Maybe. So we'll see. We'll see. The upside of Orji is, on paper, at least the way I'm thinking about it, is higher than Tuttle. But let's see. Let's see what Tuttle can do. If Tuttle can beat Orji, that means he's pretty good, right? So
we hope.
Yeah.
We hope. Or it just means Orji didn't do well.
Well, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. If he can win the job, so it's not just Orji, it's everybody else in the room. So
I'm okay with what Matt has here. I am not high on Tuttle. I know Kirk Campbell said he's had the misfortune to be behind some really good quarterbacks. I do agree with that. But when he's been on the field, hasn't really. I just haven't seen it. I'm okay with saying 25% likelihood that Michigan wins with Jack Tuttle. I think that we have a much better chance with Alex Orji and that triple threat that he provides.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. All right. Last topic of the day. We're at 10 p.m. So we're going to rock through this last one here. Michigan just had a massive outpouring of resources to renovate their locker room. So we're going to have a little bit of a before and after here. So our very own Ferris actually took a visit to the locker room. So this was what it looked like.
Yeah, and this wasn't
Ferris,
long.
tell us about this.
Yeah, this wasn't long ago. This was just from this spring. I am under Mike Sanistrill's locker, so I was super happy to get that picture. So very basic. Maybe it almost looks like an away locker room. Not too. I mean, it was cool being there. Nice carpeting and stuff, but it was. I mean, you can see it. It's pretty basic, especially for guys that are a lot bigger than I am. To kind of fit their kind of side by side, all their equipment, all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. No,
So
I think this is excellent to see, just so we can see the before. And then, John, I know you got the after pics coming.
Yeah, I do. So I got a video. So we got here. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is the video that Michigan Twitter put out. You got Donovan there chilling. But you could just see the attention they put in, and in today's recruiting world and everything else, like you need something like this to show these recruits, like bowling alley, pool, etc. At barbershop. I love this. Whoever designed it, brilliant. They've got NCAA college football 25. They've got golf sims. They've got all kinds of things. TJ, what was your first thought when you saw the new locker room situation?
Dude, gorgeous. I mean, these locker rooms are fire. I mean, they hit it out. But again, Michigan just doing it, bro. Like, Michigan is hitting it on all cylinders right now. This is just another feather in the cap to Michigan and what they're doing. I mean, so these lockers were planned over a year ago. They also received a $7 million donation from a donor. Shout out to them. Appreciate that. These were, I believe, these locker rooms. Well, the entire project, I believe, was $14 million. The men's basketball and women's basketball team are also getting locker room renovations. And, just shout out to Michigan for, again, upping their game and not being complacent, because they freaking crushed it. I mean, the unfortunate thing is these were not available for the barbecue at the big house for the players or the recruits to tour these. But regardless, that's neither here nor there. I mean, dude, these are off the chain. I think any player would love to have these lockers, especially. And then looking at Ferris's photo compared to this, night and day, bro.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked. I mean, it's totally different. I would say we don't want the players to be too comfortable. That's the only thing I would say. But on the other hand, we don't want it to be kind of used against us in that way. But I really like it how everyone has. It's not like the superstar on the team gets to sit on the couch. Everybody's got has got their own space. There are things to do that are there. I would say, I do have some other pictures I'll show at some other time. Maybe I'll do a separate video on this, but of kind of walking in. So they had to find some space, so they probably tore down some walls and things like that because it was very tight in the old locker room. The other thing I'm just curious about is if they did anything with the tunnel, because the tunnel, I put my backpack down there because I went on the field and it was messy. There was like bird droppings and it wasn't like super clean in that tunnel. I wonder if they'll do anything to the tunnel as well, either now or sometime in the near future. So just some thoughts there, but it is totally night and day. I would say these locker rooms are better than the Detroit Tigers locker rooms. So just to kind of give you a perspective, right? So this locker room is better than the Detroit Tigers locker room.
They're better than the Lions locker room. I mean, these guys have this is the best locker room. Maybe LCA, what the Red Wings have might be. I mean, to be honest, this is actually probably better. I mean, these are firemen.
Yeah. The question about the tunnel, so after the incident in MSU, they underwent not just the tunnel, but I believe they underwent a $41 million renovation of areas in the big house. If you noticed last year, there's also a beautiful new video display, lights. yeah, there's a work done to at the very least remove some seats to expand the tunnel out a bit. So they did that after.
You know why they did that though, right?
Why do you
Because the
think?
Michigan State incident, because the
Yeah.
incident.
Yep. Mhm.
Which, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't like it. They should have left it the way it is. I like the Coliseum aspect, which it still is the Coliseum aspect, but F that shit, dude. Like, I mean, you shouldn't touch the players or the coaches, but at the end of the day, I want more fans in the stands. I like that atmosphere, but no, Michigan's doing it, man. I mean, from the video boards to the new sound system, although I've heard some complaints about the sound system because they don't have speakers on one side of the stadium because they don't want it to project into the neighborhood. They probably need to fix that. But to the video boards, to the light show, I mean, the night game last year was off the chain, dude. So, yeah, Michigan's doing the damn thing, bro. Shout out to Michigan. It's wonderful to be a fan of a university that just keeps reinvesting into itself. It's great to see.
All right. I mean, the thought just crossed my mind that maybe the tunnel is just wide enough that they can pull a stage in there and we can have a Taylor Swift concert right in the middle or whatever, something huge. So we've never had a real concert in the big house. I wonder if this might open the door for something. So we'll see.
That's interesting.
Well, Justin, and yeah, I think I echo what you guys said. I think that the locker room is exactly on par with what the elite programs are doing. If you look at Alabama's locker room enhancements and others in the SEC,
Oregon.
it's
Oregon.
exactly on par. Oregon, Phil Knight has been dropping mad stacks to enhance things, including the NIL situation. Because he wants to win a natty, and I get that. It's like the Jerry Jones of college football situation. But so, yeah, I'm impressed. I think it's exactly what you need to do if you want to try to get some of these high-level 4- and 5-star recruits. And I know that that's not Michigan's MO to get a bazillion of them, but it would be nice to get a few, 5 stars, at least 1 or 2, and per class, and a bunch of 4 stars. And this is one of those things that goes into the calculus. It might not be the largest thing but you got to at least be competitive in these spaces. And Justin says locker room is dope. Locker room is dope, yes. And also check out the Michigan Insider. Okay. We also get info from BBQ and interviews. So, yeah. So,
Sam Webb,
Justin.
Sam Webb's doing a great job with a bunch of player interviews. I watched the one with Brady Hart. Yeah, highly recommend everyone check out Sam Webb's interview with Brady Hart. That is a great interview. They just dropped some more today with Eli Owens and 2 others that slip in my mind right now. Bobby Kinka and one more. But regardless, yeah, they're dope interviews, good 10-minute interviews. Check them out.
Well, we appreciate it, Justin. And with that said, it's time, because we've been going. We do it for you.
Yeah.
We do it for the community, but we've been going 2+ hours here. So what we're going to do now is do final thoughts and where can people find you. And Ferris has a special thought based on his video of bold predictions, and maybe you could even share 1 or 2 of the bold predictions that people can expect to see in the video.
Yeah. So really, it's a methodology to evaluate bold predictions. And I did some proposed predictions. So one of them is, Alex Orji is going to be the starting quarterback. Is that a bold prediction? Well, maybe that's kind of a mild prediction. Michigan makes it to the Final Four. And I'm going to use basketball terms now because it is a tournament. Michigan makes it to the Final Four. That is a bolder prediction. Michigan loses to Ohio State, but goes further than them in the playoffs. How do we rate that kind of prediction? I want to, I have some predictions. I want you to help me make them better. I have 14 predictions. I want you to help me make those better and then refine them. And then just before the season starts, we're going to have kind of as a team sort of crowdsourced. We're going to have 10 very solid Michigan bold predictions. We're going to have a boldness index for all of them, each of those. We're also going to have some level of risk points if we get those predictions right, and deductions if we get it wrong. It's sort of like the gymnastics I was telling you about earlier, right? So watch my video. It's Smash the Numbers. It came out yesterday. Let me know what you think. I'd like to touch on it tomorrow in our member chat if it ends up working out. Just give me a prediction. I'll run it through our engine, and I also want to hold other people accountable. National commentators, for example, that make they spray and pray with these predictions. They make tons of predictions, and maybe one or two of them come true. There's wild predictions, but they don't get any. There's no penalty for making a wrong prediction. So check out my methodology. I kind of go into it in detail. I also go over 14 proposed predictions. So I hope, leave it in the chat here if you'd like, or, let me know, and maybe even better, leave it in the chat of that actual video. I'll start to kind of compile those.
Well, we will be following, and by the way, everybody, if you haven't subscribed to Michigan Football, the voice of college football, you should, and you should hit the bell. And what some people forget is to hit the all in the bell notifications, because if you don't do that, when Ferris posts a Smash the Numbers, or when we have another piece of content, if you hit the all, you're going to get notified like when a Smash the Numbers is live. So definitely do that. And as we've said before, we are trying to beat Ohio State in subscribers. So check out Ferris, check out Smash the Numbers, and check out and consider subscribing to our channel as well.
Yes. One final point: we are going to be doing pregame and postgame shows.
Yes.
During the season. So I will be heading up the pregame show. You can have multiple screens on at the same time. No problem. You're watching TV, but you also have us on your tablet or your phone or whatever, or second TV. Please do that. That way you can interact with us. We can even react to some of the things that are being talked about in the pregame show.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I can't wait for those of you who have been watching Voice of College Football for a while know that we've been doing the Michigan post-game live and taking viewer calls. Now we are going to be adding a Michigan pregame live. So now you've got content for before, as you're getting your beer, you're getting your tailgating set up and everything. You can listen in to TJ and Ferris on the pregame show. Maybe some other special guests stop by that. And then you watch the game. And then right after the game, give us a little bit of time to get everything set up. But then we will have Michigan post-game live with myself and TJ. And we will be taking your calls as well to get your feedback on what you thought happened. And we'll talk about some of our favorite plays, some of the impact players of the game, and all of that good stuff. So a lot of good content coming in literally like a month to Michigan Football, the voice of college football.
Well, no,
Less
a
than
month.
a month.
No,
Yeah,
it's a month.
about a month. Yeah.
My bad. I was getting too excited.
We're going to get there soon, man. We're almost there. All right. Ferris, anything else for us?
Other than I believe Alex Orji can complete a forward pass.
There it is. We will have to start getting getting that on T-shirt or something at some point. Absolutely. All right, Ferris. Thanks for joining us as always.
All
man.
right,
Go
it was
Blue.
great. Thank you. Go Blue.
Go Blue, man.
All right, TJ. Big show and another big one coming up on Thursday. We're both going to be taking some calls Thursday at 8.
Absolutely. Yeah. Join me and John this Thursday for the Voice of College Football call-in show, Michigan. And looking forward to that. We'll have a lot to talk about. Camp is underway. Recruiting's hot and heavy. We got some major players to pay attention to, and looking forward to, everyone just being a part of the community and keep calling in. We just had our 10th episode last week. It's going well. Looking forward to it. And if you guys want to find me, I'm TJ_Ronan. You can find me on Twitter. The community's building on Twitter. It's a lot of fun. My man Juju's always coming at me. I got a bunch of you guys in the chat that are also messaging me all the time. So, or linking me and things. So I appreciate that. And also getting into some debates with the Ohio State fans recently, especially with my Mr. Rogers flicking off the NCAA. Take that, NCAA. But yeah, no, it's
I
all
saw
going good,
that. I
man.
enjoyed that.
Yeah, F those dudes. And yeah, man. But yeah, so get at me there. And hey, till Thursday, John.
Until Thursday, and you can find me at John Diadamo right here and also at the bottom of the screen with our new graphic from Justin Adams. We appreciate you. So check me out there, and I post my thoughts on the news of the day and other random things that come in from time to time. But yes, you'll see us if you're a Those Who Stay Will Be Champions member or higher. Join us tomorrow night at 8 for the hangout. Otherwise, we will see you Thursday at 8 for the call-in show. And until then, go blue, and we'll see you next time.
Go blue.